so far into the United States and even Germany as well, that they can make these roster changes and keep it almost exactly the same. But with the starting lineups for both teams here coming into DT3, we have Apraxia, BTMC, Rectagon, and Vaxay for the United States, Dust Ice, Ombre, Okinamo, and Rising for Germany to begin this match.
All right, we are underway into map number 1. This is going to be a showcase of some incredible performances, I think, from both sides. And I mean, right off the start, I think you're going to see some very high accuracy, some very big combos from a lot of different players on a map like this. So be ready for a lot of FCs, I think, and just some incredible scores out of these two teams.
You have a lot of strong Scream players in this lobby. Traditionally, fantastic Scream players. You have like Dust Ice and Ombre and Okinamo in, as well as the new Rising for Germany, who's been putting up a fantastic performance in the tournament thus far. And you have the tried and true Vaxay Apraxia speed combo, joined by a very strong BTMC Swaggy Swagster addition this year. Rectagon at that bottom left corner has been making massive improvements and has really showed up this year. And BTMC finally getting his shot at OWC. He was talking earlier today about wanting to get in for a map today, and he is really proving himself, still holding the FC right now.
And you've seen 2 early breaks from Germany already. Umbre and Rising both finding misses before we're even halfway through. United States, unsurprisingly, still holding the 4-way full combo. They're going to run out to a couple 100,000 point lead. And, you know, this is kind of the thing that you're going to be looking out for. I think we're going to keep a close eye on the entire match. Whoever the other couple of players are, right, you're always going to expect great things out of Dust Ice, Okinamo, Whitecat, but kind of those other players on the roster, some of those players who have switched out, who are new this year, who are kind of playing a little bit more of a fill role. We're going to be watching them very closely because their combos could make or break this match for Germany. United States fill quote-unquote players are so good, they would be anybody's starting players for a lot of these maps, and you're seeing that already here with the 4-way 1000 combo full FCs still intact.
This is an amazing performance from
And there goes Dust Ice as well. Sorry.
Yep, that's the big one. Nope, that's exactly what you don't love to see for Germany. You have that one combo left for them right now, and there's not much you can do about this at all. You have a quarter of the map left.
And Ed is shaking, BTMC shaking so badly, but the man just somehow keeps kind of believing when that's happening, so I'm not as worried as I might otherwise be, because I've seen what he can do while shaking. And this is just going to be the United States putting on the show that I think everyone has come to expect from them in these late round matches. This one is actually over already. It's a 1,000,000-point victory on the first pick for Germany. How demoralizing is this if you're a German player and this is your first pick, your best map, and you come in and the other team is just casually 4-waying it? Like, the United States is going to 4-way the first map of this match.
This is insane. This is literally the performance of...
Oh, Apraxia, no!
Oh my
The Apraxia method! Alright, anyway.
It's doomed. It's doomed. The one miss, but that is a statement from the United States at the beginning of this match. A 1.2 million victory.
Ready to go. That roster is prepared. Fancy Lad, Air Blaze, and Vaxay taking on Dust Ice. Whitecat going to come in for this one alongside Okinamo and Hallow Watcher. This is going to, I think, say a lot as well. The first pick for Germany obviously went really well for the United States. They'd like their own first pick to go just as well.
Can you imagine that if they are able to take the other team's picks, you'd think that they're pretty strong. Fancy Lad's going to find a very early break, but Okinamo and Dust Ice are both going to match it, so it really won't matter. This map is 3 minutes plus, so early breaks won't matter too much. However, if they continue finding them, that's going to be more of a problem as Fancy Lad breaks again. But Whitecat and Hallow Watcher, new additions to the German roster for this map here, and we have 3 new additions for this map for the United States: Fancy Lad, Aryu, and Kablaze. Kablaze holding it strong up there with Vaxay and Aryu as well with that high accuracy, 98.7% at the beginning of this map.
I love the addition of Kablaze to their USA roster this year. You know, they have a very hard time replacing Toy, who was the dedicated low AR hidden player from last year. But bringing in Kablaze for some of the low approach rate stuff, some of the tricky hidden maps, and somebody who's just incredibly dedicated. You see how much Kablaze plays the game, you know how much she practices and how much she streams and how much she just loves playing Osu and how thrilled she is to be on this team. So that's going to be a player that's just a really good addition to have on the roster, and showing it on her first map in this match here. While we have breaks left, right, and center, Okinamo and Hallow Watcher both double breaking twice in a row at the first third here. United States just going to run with this one once again.
White Cat trying to do whatever he can for Germany right now as Dust Ice is only supporting combo breaks. There goes Kablaze for the United States. The second break aside from
there goes White Cat on nothing.
And that's it, unfortunately.
What was that break? That's so unfortunate.
That was such an unfortunate break for White Cat, and that's at halfway point as well. That's detrimental to his score.
Yeah, you know, we talk about all the time how your score just plummets if you miss at that point in the map. Unfortunately, that's going to be the fate of White Cat there, and really not much combo on the side of Germany. Meanwhile, Airyu, Vaxei doing what they do best, holding on to those FCs. Airyu with great accuracy, above 98. He does finally break, but Fancy Lad is right there to pick up the slack of the supporting combo for Vaxei's continued FC, who, despite the lower accuracy, holding the combo, and that's what's going to be important here, is the United States is going to be out by 500k on this one.
Yeah, Fancy Lad very uncharacteristically finding a lot of breaks at the beginning, but he has found his ultimate comfortability in the end of this. 98% finally breaks with a quarter of the map left, but not before putting up 500,000 on the score. And Vaxei, he's doing what he does right now. He's FCing the map. It's semifinals. He's still pretty comfortable. He's got 96% accuracy, but he's going to roll with it. We have a lot of combos starting to build up on Germany. Unfortunately, they're going up against an FC, which is just running the score away here.
Yeah, this is the, oh, Vaxei did break, so no FC for him. No, there will be no FCs on this map, and Kablaze follows up shortly thereafter. Fortunately, the United States already had such a big lead that it really doesn't matter. This is the sort of thing that they do to you. They just don't stop, and this is going to be another dominant performance by about 700,000 points. The United States starting off very, very strong on these first two picks. Two completely different maps, might I add, and the USA just rolling on both of them.
This is amazing scores from the United States. You do have to note, in the semifinals, putting up 2.6 million team score on a map is very, very impressive. Even in a 4v4 tournament here, the United States winning that by over 750,000.
Show up on maps like this when it counts and in the late rounds of OWC. So it's tough to make a pick against Team United States. We talked about that a lot last week in their match against Brazil. And so Germany going to go with what they think is the next best option here, but it's going to be another very contested one at the least, I think.
This is an early break for Fiery Rage there, but within the first 80 combo doesn't really matter too much. United States running with a very similar lineup, only trade being Fiery Rage from that hidden pick here. There's 3 breaks!
Actually, Hell Watcher and Dust Ice just all missed on the same note. All right. Rising still with the SS along with White Cat, by the way, through the first 150 combo, so good for them, but a lot of map to come. This is relatively short, but we're still early into it.
Yeah, 2 minutes and 25 seconds, a quarter of the way in right now. Rising does drop the double S, but White Cat still holding strong. If Germany is able to hold this double FC here, they are going to be able to keep this really close, if any break from the United States.
Vaxei breaking again, so that's big. That's surprising. Not a player that you would expect to break on a map like this, but Germany going to take that lead. We'll see how long they can maintain that double FC. That's what's going to be very important here. Rising and White Cat, and there goes White Cat. That is a break, and that is the combo advantage back over to the United States here. They're going to pull the score gap down. And there goes Rising as well. Both FCs gone for Germany in a heartbeat. Oh, you hate to see it. There goes Hell Watcher too!
Germany!
Oh, Germany, man. You can't afford to miss there, guys. You just can't. I'm sorry.
They tried. They had so much opportunity to capitalize. You had Fiery Ridge and Vaxei both breaking the beginning of the map. Fiery does find another break past that halfway point, but with Rectagon and Kablaze both still holding FCs, and just Dust Ice, the next closest combo, who is basically being matched by Vaxei's combo right now. And there goes Dust Ice and Kablaze, and that's probably going to do it.
Yeah, that's going to do it. Man, you know, we talk about it so much. Every match the United States plays, practically every map the United States plays. The phrase that I've used before, you give them an inch and they will take a mile. You cannot break against this team because no matter what, it feels like you look at the United States and they just have big combos on at least 2 people at almost all times. And, you know, no matter what you're doing as their opponent, you just feel like, I can't imagine you can feel like you ever can break. No matter what, you just can't break because you'll immediately fall behind.
You have to imagine the nerves are absolutely massive. White Cat has insanely impressive accuracy right now with 99.47. Unfortunately, Rectagon won't be FCing this map, even though he will top score for the United States with a very healthy 915k. And, you know, voice chats and community, they definitely hype each other up plenty here. And, you do have to be careful of Germany still. They are down 3 points right now, but Germany is not one of those countries that will just roll over and die or even let their mental get to them. They are definitely one of the stronger teams in terms of mental, so you can get them down a couple of points, and they'll still come right back if you give them the opportunity. We have 2 early breaks again for both teams here, and we've actually seen this alternating that picked quite a bit. I think the only match we didn't see it in was in Canada versus Japan, and every other match it's been picked in.
Yeah, this has been a very popular map, and it's a very difficult one. I've heard some players say it's one of the more difficult maps in the pool because the patterns are just so tough. You can see the aim required in these streams. Finding a couple misses here and there is very easy. You saw Dust Ice with a break in that longer stream section, but it's going to stay very close for now. Germany's still holding on to 3 very solid FCs with very good accuracy on Okinamo, just a couple of hundreds. So this is very much balanced on Knife's Edge, about a quarter of the way through here. And with the style of map this is, it can go any which way very quickly. Unfortunately, Germany with a couple of breaks, Okinamo and Dust Ice finding 2 more misses, and that 3 FC lead to now just 1 as Hello Watcher breaks as well for Germany. That's going to pay dividends to the United States, as Whitecat is the only FC remaining for Germany. They got to pull themselves together here.
Yeah, well, they really need to start picking maps that they are confident on as a team. They're definitely, it seems like they're picking for one specific player to try and perform here. And unfortunately against the United States, you can't really do that when almost all their players can play, most of these maps, especially still in semifinals. There's not really any one player that is completely out. Fancy Lad actually finding a little bit of a misaim there, and Fiery Rage does break again. So there is a little bit of an opportunity here. That's right around the halfway point of the map, which means their scores are capped at 650,000 if they FC the rest. But right now, it is quite literally just Whitecat with a combo on Germany going up against both Ariu and Vaxei. Ariu with 99% plus. There goes Vaxei and Fancy Lad, though.
So this is going to come down to Whitecat versus Ariu, and I would almost say advantage Whitecat here. He's been very good on alt maps in this tournament so far. Things like this have become his forte in this tournament. Ariu, though, holding on with higher accuracy. He's just got to maintain that combo for a bit. The United States still does have that score lead by about 400k. There is enough score for Whitecat to make it up if something were to really go wrong for the USA, but right now they've got enough combo to maintain that lead, especially with Dust Ice having a lot of trouble.
There goes Fiery Rage again, though, and Ariu really just needs to find a break right now if they want the opportunity. Unfortunately, Ariu's looking insanely strong. His accuracy is holding up insanely well. There goes Fancy Lad, though, so there's a lot of teammates on the United States that are not backing Ariu up right now. It's just Vaxei along with him. But Ariu is just not letting anything up. Whitecat's doing everything he can. Fiery Rage and Okinamo and Hello Watcher all breaking. There's just nothing Germany can do right now. The combos earlier from the United States are just carrying them into the finish, and Ariu is going to match Whitecat into the ending.
He does finally break near at the end. Whitecat's going to end up with the top score on this no matter what now, but it's a 400k score lead. The United States did more than enough. And this is a kind of a glimpse here, I think, of what Germany is capable of. You saw that score from Whitecat if he had a little bit better backing combo from his teammates, but they just didn't provide exactly what he needed there. Dust Ice down under 300k, not the performance I'm sure he would have liked. Meanwhile, Ariu 860k, but Vaxei with about 600k, and Fancy Lad doing quite well, up about 500k. So USA just, it's that matter of having the better players behind. But man, Whitecat the FC, very, very solid stuff from him. You do like to see that. He is, one of those players that is obviously a difference maker, a catalyst for his team, if his team provides enough backing score. And they've got to start doing that now in a hurry, as it's already
from their earlier DT performance, rather looking for the United States to not 4-way FC another DT map. I am glad that Germany was not scared off by the fact that the United States was very strong on the first DT map they picked. Granted, they are completely different. This is AIM, and the other one was a stream DT, so it's completely different. But the AR 10.3 on this is really the difference that you're looking for, and this is just something that both of these teams have a very solid lineup for to start this off.
I'm a little interested to see Fiery Rage in for this map for the United States, but I mean, hey, if he's going to do well, and he's going to do well in it, Whitecat is going to, in fact, be the first one to break, which, considering what he's best known for, is a little surprising to me, but man, like you said earlier, the tournament nerves, especially in OWC, especially in semifinals with, 15,000 people watching you, that, I think, has to play into your mental a little bit if you're not used to this big of a stage, so we'll see what happens the rest of the map, as USA still holding onto a double SS on Fancy Lad and Vaxei.
Yeah, we're a quarter of the way in already. This map is fairly long at 3 minutes, so there's plenty. But, ooh, Dust Ice is finding a break. That's not the side that we want to see him miss on. Whitecat did find an earlier break, but there goes Neox as well. Germany is just falling apart right before the pause section. The United States holding 4 FCs and Vaxay on the double S. What can you do? Rising is double S.
Yeah, I was going to say, Rising was on the SS. He hit that 100 right after the break.
No.
But, yeah, I mean, Germany is still in this, as you said. It is a long map. There's plenty of time, and there's a break from Rectagon. That is the first miss from the United States on this map. But Germany's got to hope for a lot more breaks out of the United States if they want to have a chance in this one. About halfway through now. This is where maps are won and lost here as we go into the long burst and then into the second PI. This is where things are going to start to get really real. Misses start to become kind of uncomebackable from. And, you know, if you hold through this and somebody else breaks, you have a very good chance of maintaining your lead through the end.
This is still quite doable for Germany. Rising is holding the best performance that I've seen him put up in the tournament thus far on this DT map here. 1x100 still for him, and Whitecat has a good...
And he breaks! Rising is gone. And Neox breaks as well. Alright, so I think that just kind of ended the map, and you hate to see it after you're saying all those nice things about how well they were doing.
Oh, that was unfortunate. Rising, you know, he's got a really good score, still putting it up, but Whitecats and Dust Ice are really trying to hold this. Unfortunately, going up against 3 really strong FCs. Fancy Lad on 99.5 almost, Vaxay on 99.4, and Fiery Rage with a very respectable 98% accuracy. And there's Rectagon with 500 combo on his 1 break, almost at 99. The United States, even with the 1 missed FC, is still looking insanely strong, and the accuracy on Rectagon is actually going to put his score almost equivalent to Dust Ice's at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're supposed to do about this. Whitecat had the 1 early break, and he's FC'd since then with good accuracy. Rising with the 1 miss, I think 1 100, maybe 2 100s. Dust Ice with a very solid score. The USA, though, just casually 3-way FCing. Fancy Lad 6 100s, Vaxay 7 100s. The slider break, it is a 4-way S rank, in fact, from the United States. Fiery Rage bringing up that S rank, the FC for him as well, with a couple more slider ends missed. But man, what do you do? What do you do against that score? I don't actually know. I mean, they just put up 4.3 million for the second time in this match. Strong. All these teams have gotten so good because the United States is so good. They're chasing after them year in and year out. But the United States just has another level. They have that next gear that they can turn to in the times when it matters. They've got the Vaxay late round insurance. They've got these new players like Fancy Lad who just bring in even more late round insurance. And it's so hard to touch that if you're any other country.
I really, you know, as much as I would love to call, like, the reverse sweep here from Germany and have them start, like, rolling through some points here, this is just such a difficult match for Germany. And, you know, I really think Germany has a very good shot of going down to the losers bracket and just winning and making it back to grand finals because of how good they are as a team. And Fiery Rage is going to find an early break on this, so it's not over yet. Germany is going to have their opportunity here at the beginning of this map. But, you know, we can only hope that Germany takes this, they run with it, and they go through the losers bracket, and they come back, and they come back stronger in the grand finals. Because there's 2 breaks now for Germany, and this is going to be very difficult to come back from now with a map that is 3 minutes and already a quarter of the way in.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see very interesting things in the remainder of the tournament, no matter how this match finishes up, because these teams will continue to scale. These are players, all 16 of the players in these 2 teams, as well as the other players still in the winners and some of those top losers bracket teams, all just scale very, very well. And the map pools are going to continue to get harder. And so those carry players can start to be more and more important. Your Vaxays of the world, your Whitecats of the world, your Karunas of the world will be so very important to their teams in these late rounds. But for right now, this is the stage that I think the United States might be their most untouchable on, because it's early enough for them in their minds that they will still FC a lot of maps, but it's late enough that a lot of other teams don't have players that can match their 3rd and 4th on given maps. You know, you expect your top 2 to put up great scores, but it's the other players who kind of fill in those gaps. And the United States has more of those, especially at this stage of things, than anyone else in the world, and they're proving that in this match with this 5-0 lead that looks like it's about to become a 6-0 sweep.
This is just going to be so hard for Germany to even make any attempt at coming back from this right now. We are coming into the final quarter of the map. There is 3 remaining FCs on the United States, one of which on Fancy Lad is a 99.35. which is unbeatable act essentially on this map. There is no player in here I think that can match that performance in terms, and nobody is matching that performance. Even Vaxley with a 97%, and there goes White Cat, and it's just Watcher to try and make something happen, and he's got a fantastic Hard Rock score right now. This is absolutely all right. I'm gonna stop talking.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but yeah, I mean, what do you do? I don't know. I don't know. The ending of this really tricky. Might see a couple breaks here, but you know, you've got players. You've got Fancy Lad dropping his axe just a little bit, but man, Kablaze on the hidden FC, double Nomad FC from Fancy and Vaxay. I mean, it makes the United States look untouchable, and it makes it very hard. You know, I want to be able to say this was a close match and both teams looked great, but man, the United States just 6-0'd Germany like it was nothing in about half an hour.
This was, you know, we came into this, and I think a lot of people were expecting, you know, as much as we would love to see Germany, you know, take the win on this, a lot of people were expecting the United States to win, albeit the score be a little closer. But United States, they did this last year. They looked really strong. There were a lot of good other teams. And then for some reason, like the United States, they play well in early stages, and then you hit semifinals and finals, and the United States is like, FC time. It's time to like roll away. We've hit the skill cap maps. We're going to just start using this to our advantage. And they just take it and they run with it, and they really prove it. 6-0 against Germany, who is arguably probably the second strongest team in this tournament, aside from Canada. I mean, Canada, you know, guaranteed that third place now, and Germany's going to go down to the losers bracket to fight their way back up to the grand finals. And you know, it's all just a battle for who's going to take the points now.